And part B, we're writing this method that's going to take two guesses and figure out which one's better. So their definition of better is a higher score. If they have the same score, they use this kind of vague phrase here, alphabetically greater. And they do give an example of it right here. Con and Cat both come back 9. Con's deemed alphabetically greater. So in other words, later in the alphabet, O comes later than A, the C's tie. So it's an alphabetizing method. And then the other thing you really need to understand in this question, and this is kind of a question one thing, you're writing your code right here. That means you have these two string guesses available to you. You're going to send both of those guesses at one at a time into the scoreGuess method. And then it's going to give you back an integer, okay? And then that integer will be used to determine which string gets returned. So when I call this method scoreGuess, since I'm in the declaring class, I just call it. I don't put a dot operator in front of it. If I insist on doing that, I'd have to use the keyword this. So like I said, both of those method calls are going to give me back an integer. So maybe I'll call that integer G1 when I give it guess1, and maybe I'll call it G2 when I give it guess2. Okay, part of the reason that this question was on this test was to see if kids could do that. Can you call a method from the class, satisfy its parameter, understand what it's going to return to you, and then now we're going to use that to make some decisions. So there's really three scenarios, right? G1 could be greater than G2, okay? G1 could be less than G2, or they could be equal. It really doesn't matter what order you address these three in, okay? But one thing you absolutely don't want to do is write three ifs, right? If I start writing three ifs here, there's a chance that depending how I write this, I might get a missing return statement error if I put all of my returns inside of ifs, right? So just take away that third one. If we get to that third scenario, then that's the only thing possibly left, and we'll just accept it. We won't try to force anything else in there. So if G1's greater, I just return guess one, okay? That's pretty easy. What if they're equal? Well, that was that weird one. That's where I'm going to have to go to the compare to method. And, the good news is if you forget the compare to method, it is on your quick reference, and, you can look it up. It's basically just a subtraction problem, like guess one minus guess two, and somehow it comes back with a number. The number's positive, guess one's bigger. It's like a subtraction. 10 minus 7 is 3. 7 minus 10 is negative 3. So if that happens, I return guess one. Otherwise, I give back guess two. And again, don't write another if, right? We don't. I know sometimes like there's going to be this tendency, especially on AP day, you're going to be nervous and you're thinking, oh, I better be careful and spell out all. No, writing an extra if is actually bad. If I get to this point, it must have been guess two. Like there's no other scenario. I wrote guessed two. That's kind of funny. Okay, try that again. You also, if you're getting some errors here and you can't find something wrong in this method, your problem might be in the first method. So keep that in mind.